Hey, Eric Sider here from Planting Pioneers, and in this video we're going to be talking about my patio fish pond. We're going to go into more detail, talk about the plants, the fish, the animals, how I set it up, how you can set one up of your own, where you can get your plants, other supplies. All right, let's get into it.
Water levels looking pretty low. We just watered the garden yesterday, so we'll show you how we top this up. Just grab our expandable pocket hose here. Alright, so we've installed a quick release fitting on the shower head. We also have a basic vitamin C filter. Takes out chlorine, chloramines, and also softens the water. But see if we can do it one-handed. That was the idea anyway. There we go. Turn on the water. There we go. Now ideally you'd like to top this up with rainwater because it's the best water. Basically distilled water from the sky, so no excess minerals or chemicals or any weirdness, but I don't have enough capacity to wait for the next rainstorm. You can see since we use this to water our garden almost every day right now, tank would be almost empty before I could fill it up again. So next best thing is a filtered water from the shower. And the added bonus of this is it does add additional oxygen. Alright, that'll do it. We'll go over the setup here. We have a 100-gallon Rubbermaid structural foam stock tank, and it's got a clean out opening on the bottom, which you can add a hose bib to, so that's pretty convenient, especially if you get any sludge buildup. You definitely want to give that a clean out. And on the bottom is just a few inches of gravel to give the healthy bacteria and microbes habitat to colonize, and then the plants themselves are either floating free or they're in pots with gravel. So no soil here, and that's so the plants really have to work hard to filter the water and get any excess nutrients out, and that really goes a long way to helping keep the water clean and clear. Alright, so let's start with some plants. One of my favorites here is the Pickerel Weed. Then we have just southern cattail. We have some water chestnut in the center here. So this is a milk crate lined with weed mat filled with gravel. We have some hardy water lily. This is coontail. What else we got floating? This is water primrose. We got some American pondweed over here. Interesting feature about water plants is during the day when they're photosynthesizing, they are adding oxygen to the pond, but at night it reverses, so then they're pulling oxygen out. So something to keep in mind. Right here we have a Mexican primrose, and it's just a cutting I stuck in there the other day. So you can always, it's already setting roots out, which is one of the great things about water plants is they're very easy to transplant. And being that they're in water, you can basically do it any time of the year. You don't have to worry about them drying out or anything. Here's just a canna lily in a fabric pot. So they don't mind getting their feet wet. And as long as they have a little bit of soil above ground, they're pretty happy. Another thing to keep in mind is different plants like to be at different heights. So a lot of plants only like to be in a couple inches of water, so something like this you need to put some, create kind of some ledges, so some concrete blocks or bricks help out. And we have some little comet goldfish or feeder goldfish you can get from the pet store for like 20 cents or something. They make really good little fish, keep any mosquito problems out, and they're also really nice and to watch, and fun entertainment factor. They aren't in the best health at the pet store, so I think 70% will survive, so something to consider when you're buying them. Obviously, you want to keep your numbers low, because they're just going to require more oxygen. And I do, whenever I find little critters out there in the wild, I'll add them to my pond. So things like little snails and some crustaceans. Found a couple clams, which they're down there somewhere in the creek. Next question, where do you get all these water plants? Well, if you got healthy ponds in the area, that's one of the best places to go. Almost all of the plants in this pond were harvested locally. The only one that purchased is the water lily. Fortunately, I got a spot nearby, so I'll go show you how easy it is to get your own plants. Alright, so here we are at the one pond I've been fortunate enough to find that actually has plant life and a pretty decent assortment of plants that we can harvest for our own ponds. Sadly, the majority of the ponds around here get sprayed with algicide. The water level is really low right now. We haven't had rain in a few weeks, so it does give us access to some plants without getting our feet wet, which is a positive. Alright, so let's see how easy it is to harvest some of these plants. Alright, so this guy right here is some type of sedge, and I know that because it's got like a hollow stem and it's got edges, kind of like a triangular shape. So it's a good little saying to remember. Not my saying, but sedges have edges. So, and we'll see. We can get that guy. Nope, that wasn't very good. So we're gonna have to go a little deeper here. There we go. And as long as you get a decent amount of roots. This guy here, some American pondweed. This is typically just floating on the water surface. And let's see. As long as you got some roots, you're usually good to go. Okay, now this one here is primrose. And again, this is another creeper. Don't need quite that much. You can just prick off a little section like that. If there's one plant, it's almost can guarantee you're gonna have is cattails if you got any kind of consistent or standing water. Yeah. Oh, maybe it's coming. No, we lost the top and the bottom. Oh, there we go. That's. Oh, there we go. Bit of root, that's all you need. Top will grow back. Look at this guy. It's a crayfish. Just saying hi. Probably disturbed him a little bit. What's up, buddy? Leave him to his business. Look at that. That's what 100% clay soil does for fun. Yeah, so 100% clay soil harvesting pond plants can be a bit of a messy business, but it all washes off. Alright guys, so I hope you see how easy it is to get your own pond plants. Might be a bit of a dirty business. Hopefully you can find a local natural pond. Alright, we're back. We got our plants. Let's get them in the pond. Alright, here are our plants. And when I went to clean off all the mud in the creek, I found a good collection of American pondweed. And I believe this is southern water nymph. Here's our sedge. So let's show you how we go. And this, we're just going to go ahead and keep the soil on there, just to let a little bit of microbes in there and give the fish something to nibble on. I mean, you can, if you're concerned about the excess nutrient, you can certainly rinse that off, but it's not a big issue for us here. So just get that guy in the gravel and he's off and running. Now for these guys, since they're just going to be floating, I'm just going to drop them in. And not all of these are going to survive en route, so we'll just periodically pull out the dead leaves because we don't need any extra decomposition in the water, and they'll go into our worm farm, so cycle of life continues. All right, so there we go.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video on the patio fish pond. I hope you got inspired or motivated to set one up on your own. We'll put all the links and descriptions and infos and all that good stuff down below so you can get going on your own. If you enjoyed that video, please hit the like button, and if you're getting something useful out of this channel, please consider subscribing or sharing. All right, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.